The Last Watcher. From the far north, tonight I am weary. My name is Eivor. In another land, in another story, I watched my friends fall. I laid my head to rest among the dead, hearing the cries of the fallen ringing still in my ears. Those echoes never cease. They drift like snow across my mind, soft, cold, endless. The ground is frozen tonight. I've lit a fire to warm my hands, but my brothers in arms are gone, fallen, lost, or taken. I am the last watcher at the gate, and I am so tired. If I close my eyes, I may not open them again. And somehow, that feels almost peaceful. I do not know why I struggle to live. It's a strange thing, to fight for a world that no longer calls your name. Yet there is another memory, faint but real. A field of green, the warmth of sun and soft grass, a great tree and laughter, her fingers through my hair and her voice whispering, Eivor, swear to me you'll come back. And I said, I swear. How could I have known what that oath would cost? Decades of cold, 1,000 dawns on frozen stone, the gate still standing though no one believes it exists. Now I sit here, the last of the watchers. Far from that tree, far from her voice. The laughter has almost faded, but not quite. For the first time since I left, I bow my head. Tears trace the dirt of my face. They have no place on the battlefield, yet they come anyway. And as my head falls forward, I let them fall. Because even now, some part of me still believes in the warmth beyond the snow. I rest my head on my knees, and sleep comes. Eivor returns. I wake with a start. I was on my feet in an instant, my shield and spear ready, but the dawn was barely cracking in the east, and I could see no danger. The fire burned low. Ash settled like snow. I thought the night would take me, and I almost let it. But somewhere beyond the frost, something stirred. A scent, faint as memory, grass, sunlight, the hush beneath a tree. It was not a dream, it was a call. For so long, I believed my duty ended at the gate. But maybe the gate was never meant to be guarded forever. Maybe it was meant to open. I walk toward the threshold, put my hand on the gate, and it opens. After all this time, the ice cracks beneath my boots. The flame that warmed me has burned down to embers. My mind is made up. I will go home. One ember still glows, red and alive. I take it with me. Each step away from the watch feels like betrayal, yet something deeper whispers it is obedience. Not to orders, but to life. And then I hear her voice again. Not behind me this time, but ahead. Soft, steady. Eivor, come home. So I walk, through the thawing fields, toward the sun that rises like a promise kept. The gate still stands behind me, but I no longer need to hold it alone. The flame I carried now burns within me. And for the first time in a long time, I know the battle is not to survive, but to remember how to live. Eivor. The march north. As I leave that campfire, walking toward the rising sun, my mind hazy, my breath in the cold dawn mist, heavy among the fir trees, snow thick on the ground, ice crunching beneath my boots. It's like I'm transported back decades, and I see myself leaving for battle. She throws her arms around my neck with tears and asks me again, swear you'll come back, Eivor. I swear, I say solemnly. She kisses me, and I watch her turn and walk away. I shrug my shield up onto my shoulder. It's heavy, iron and wood with the grieving flame on the front. My brothers in arms ask why I bear that mark. I just shrug because I don't know myself. We march north, day and night. We camp, then continue. The snow gets deeper, the cold heavier. We stop. We build cloaks from furs, then move on again. We know our mission, to hold the gate, the threshold no one else would hold. Not voluntarily, anyway. So we volunteered. Our battalion, worn out but together for as long as it took. Weeks pass, then months. We reach the gate. We build fortifications. Years pass. Then the first attack. We fight it off. No losses. But the next is devastating. We lose many. I can still hear the cries, see the fallen freezing in the snow. 3 days the battle raged. We beat the enemy back, but at what cost? So few of us remain. A decade passes. Then another attack. Only 9 left. We hold 5 more years. Cold, starving, hollow. Then another attack. And now I'm the only one left. Mind clear, eyes steady. I walk east. I try to remember how far I am from home. Months, maybe. Can I live that long? It doesn't matter. I didn't quit. I was the last watcher, the watcher at the last gate. I stood while others fell. It isn't up to me now. Eivor, the long road east. The sun is higher now, pale and cold. Each step breaks the crusted snow like brittle glass. The land is empty, but not silent. A raven cries somewhere far away, folding into the wind like memory. I think of her again. Her hair catching the light, her voice turning fear into courage, the sound of her laughter. The ache in my chest is not grief, it's the echo of belonging. If I could reach that tree again, I would not ask the sun for warmth, only to listen to the leaves and her fingers in my hair, the quiet promise that life was good for all who kept faith. Until then, I walk. Not for duty, not for honor, for remembrance, for love that did not die in the cold. And when the wind lifts, it carries a whisper through the frost. You are not alone, Eivor, not anymore. Eivor, the quiet between steps. By afternoon, the sky opens. A thin seam of blue shows between the clouds. I stop on a rise above the valley. Below me, the snow stretches without end. There's no sound but my breath and heartbeat. The silence isn't empty, it's listening. Maybe the gate I guarded was never made of stone and iron. Maybe it was the line between fear and faith, between the man I was and the one still walking. I kneel, rest my hand on the cold wood of my shield. The grieving flame glows faintly gold. I whisper, I kept the watch. Now teach me to return. A soft wind answers. I rise again and start down the slope, each step lighter than the last. The east is waiting, and for the first time, I think I can face it. Eivor, toward the river. 3 weeks have passed now. I have turned south. By my estimate, I have traveled quite a distance, but truly I have no way of knowing where home lies. I can't remember the trip north that well, but I know if I stay on course due south, I will reach the river, the one that runs through the canyon. Then I will turn east once more, and from there, if memory serves, it will be 10 days' march. I am cold and hungry. I realize I must stop and hunt, gather strength. That afternoon, I come upon a cliff and see a cave in its face. I go inside, dry, out of the wind. I build a fire. I eat a bit of squirrel meat I have left, roll in my blanket, and sleep. Tomorrow I will hunt. I will stay here as long as it takes to rebuild my strength, and then I will continue on. When I reach the river, I will have only 10 days remaining. For the next week, I stay in the cave, hunting every day. I kill an elk the second day and spend the rest of the week smoking and drying the meat. By day 6, my pack is heavy with food. I've been resting, eating well. My strength is returning. I've cleaned my weapons, replaced the leather armband on my shield with elk skin. I think of leaving the shield behind. It is heavy, but I cannot. I am a warrior who has sworn to bring his shield home or be brought back upon it. On the 7th morning, I continue south. As the weeks slip by, I lose track of time. Just before my dried meat is gone, I kill a bear. He came up out of the canyon rocks in full fury. I braced myself and drove my spear down his throat. When he fell, I skinned him, cooked the meat, and made a heavier cloak from his hide. It is late winter now, but still snow on the ground. The days bring a little sun, a little warmth. The skin feels warm, and I'm glad for it. After 2 days, I move on, my pack full of dried bear meat, my strength nearly whole. I tell myself, one more week, perhaps 2, and I'll reach the river. Days blur together. It has been 8, maybe 9 days. Then one afternoon, I break out on a bluff and see the river below. My heart leaps in my chest, a smile crosses my face. I cannot believe I'm returning home, the only watcher left. I wonder if our village still stands, what has become of her. Has she waited? A warrior, I have learned, cannot worry. He is not made to wait. He is meant to fight, to clash, to bleed, and to fall. So I put the thought out of my head and begin searching for a place to cross. The river runs fast beneath the ice, dark water twisting like smoke. I walk the bank until I find a shallow bend where stones break the current. I lash my shield and pack together, step into the freezing torrent, and the cold cuts through me like memory. I push forward, boots slipping on the rocks, until at last I reach the far shore. I kneel in the mud, gasping, hands trembling from the chill and the strain. The sun hangs low behind me, and for the first time in years, its warmth feels close enough to touch. I press my palm to the earth, whispering, "Still I endure." Then I rise and turn south. Beyond the hills, the land opens. A vast plain dusted with snow, the horizon bright with faint gold. Each step I take sends ripples through the frost. Every breath I draw feels like a promise that the watcher at the last gate will not die in the dark, but walk home beneath the light. Eivor, the homecoming. By late spring, the river has fallen, and I follow its curve east for many days. The land grows gentler here. Green shoots press through the thawed earth, and the wind no longer cuts, it carries. One evening, I crest the last hill and see smoke rising from the valley. Thin, blue, familiar. My knees go weak. For a long time, I simply stand there, watching the small lights flicker to life below. The path down feels longer than any march before it. Every tree, every stone knows my name. When I reach the first hut, a dog barks and a door opens. Children run past me, shouting. Then I see her in the doorway, older now, hair streaked with silver, but her eyes, they are the same. She steps forward slowly, as if afraid the air itself will break the spell. When her hand touches my face, the years between us fall away like snow from the branch. Neither of us speaks. There is nothing to explain. For the first time in decades, I lay down my shield. The grieving flame still marks its center, but the grief is gone. I lean it against the doorway and step inside. The warmth of the fire greets me, and the silence that follows is not emptiness. It is peace. She stands in front of me, eyes searching every line of my face. "You came back," she whispers. Her voice breaks on the second word, and I feel the years between us in that small tremor. "I swore I would," I answer. For a moment, we just look at each other, afraid to move, afraid that one breath could undo it. Then she laughs. A sound I have carried in memory so long I almost don't recognize it in the air. "You always were too stubborn to die." I smile, the muscles unfamiliar with the motion, only stubborn enough to keep a promise. She steps closer, rests her head against my chest, and I feel her tears soaking through the dust and leather. The weight of the years finally leaves my shoulders. "I kept the watch," I tell her softly. "I know," she says. "I felt it every winter when the wind came down from the north." Her words shake me more than any battle ever did. For a long while we stand there, the firelight flickering across her face, the world outside fading into the sound of our breathing. At last she lifts her head and smiles through the tears. "Come in, Ivor," she says. "You're home."
I carry the mark of the grieving flame. Watch her at the last gate, standing when others fall. A soldier was not made to stand still, but to clash, to bleed, to heed the call. Cold lands could not break my will. The wind still remembers it all. Through the silence of time, I still hear my name. Through the silence of time, I still hear my name. If they forget my name, my scars will speak. If they forget my name, my scars will speak. I carve a path so deep, unyielding, never erased. The fire remains. I have known nothing but war. My breath, a litany of pain. My nights are filled with ghosts of battle and the last fight in the rain. Still I steady myself for the advance. The mark burns on my shield. My heart beats like a hammer in the dark, for a kingdom not yet healed. If they forget my name, my scars will speak. If they forget my name,